Are you distracted by your phone? What a silly question. Of course you are. Of course, we all are. Having a phone is okay, dare I say it, necessary, but man, can it be distracting. Whether it's games, social media, emails, your wife asking you to come home from work, our phone is designed, whether Apple or Android, to get us to use it. It is more and more common for us to use our phones on a day-to-day basis. If we look at the average number of time that each person uses on their phone, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes. That's the average, that's the middle. But most people spend more than that. They spend 4.5 hours a day. And if you do the math, if you did that every single day for a year, that would be 53 days of the year that you're on your phone. That's almost a month and a half. That's over a month and a half, actually. I am not against using a phone. In fact, I use my phone every single day extensively. But it is important to recognize that your phone can be a distraction and how much of your time you spend on it. I believe, for better or for worse, we live in a world where smartphones cannot be avoided. So this video is actually going to show you how I avoid letting my phone distract me. So let's jump into the video. Okay, so I am making this video because for a long time I have let my phone distract me. There are 4 different ways that I avoid letting my phone distract me, and I'm going to go over each of them. The first one is you start by deleting apps that you don't need. So how I basically determine apps that I don't need on my phone, I will go through my phone periodically. I like to try new apps from time to time, but periodically I just need to delete some. So I have 5 questions that I ask myself when it's like, what apps do I need to be deleting from my phone? The first one is, do I need this app to complete my work? That's a very simple question. Do you actually need this app to do some form of work, whether that's for your job, for personal work, maybe doing whatever the work is, the work. The second question is, do I need this app to complete personal tasks? So reminders apps, Notion. These are things that I use to keep on top of the tasks that I need to do. Number 3, does this app provide essential information? Things like Safari, I use that as a browser to browse the web, things like that. Question number 4, is this app necessary for the safety of myself or others? So like Find My Phone or things like that. And number 5 is, does this app provide more value than distraction? Now this one's a tough one to gauge, but this is one you have to determine for yourself. Think about how long you're spending on some of these apps, like Instagram. Are you spending too much time on Instagram? Maybe it's not worth the value that you get from it. All right, so once you get that out of the way, that's really the first thing you need to do is just wipe in the slate clean so that we actually have the essential apps that we need on our phone to get started. So the second thing you do to avoid distractions is you only turn on essential notifications. Now, there are a few things that I personally do, and I'm going to share exactly the apps that I allow notifications for. These are my rules. Phone calls and text messages, those are allowed. Calendar and reminder notifications, those are also allowed. Those are important ones that I have to be able to get notifications for almost immediately all the time. Shopping apps are not allowed. I do not set alarms for myself, not because I don't want to get distracted necessarily, although it is distracting to get notifications all the time for shopping apps. It's actually so I don't buy as many things. I also disable email notifications. I don't think you need to check your email all the time. I try and check it only 3 times a day, once in the morning, once at noon, and once at 5 or 6 p.m. The reason for this is because email is not an essential way of getting a hold of me. I try and reserve that exclusively for phone calls and text messages. Social media apps are my other big, do not allow notifications for those because they are designed to inundate you with notifications. And if you notice, even if you inside of the app turn off most notifications except for maybe direct messages, Instagram not surprisingly, they just happen to update the app quite frequently. If you have social media apps that are also on your phone that you keep going back to and opening on a frequent basis out of habit, then just delete them. Games are also not allowed. Now, this is a personal thing. I just don't have games on my phone. I have no need for them. They waste too much time. And honestly, I don't even get that much enjoyment out of them. If I want to play a game, I'm going to just do it on my console or on my computer because that's a designated place as opposed to having something that I carry with me all the time when I'm bored. Bank and financial notifications are disabled as well. I would just recommend sending them to your email, especially if it's like you having a statement that's ready. Sometimes I like seeing credit card transactions run so I know exactly who's using my credit card, but that's about it. Work-related apps. So this is like Outlook, Teams, Zoom. These apps I only allow during my specific times of the day that I work. Now, a big one for me, a category I just allow notifications for, is fitness apps, because this is actually a positive for me if I get a notification, because it might be a reminder I need to go work out, or I need to record a workout, or sometimes just the way the app functions when I'm in the middle of a workout is it will vibrate and tell me, hey, it's time for you to do your next set. And then basically outside of that, any other apps are disabled. Now, if I miss something, feel free to comment down below. Long story short, remove what you don't need. These are the essential things that you should leave notifications on for. The goal here, remember, is to avoid getting distracted by your phone, and the biggest distraction is notifications. Okay, so number 3 is use some focus modes. Now, what are focus modes? Well, on an iPhone, you can actually set a focus mode for different things like work or sleep or do not disturb or things like that. Now, I only have a few that I use prominently. I use one that is a do not disturb, and I actually doesn't change anything on my phone. I just use this to kind of turn off all notifications for a certain time. This one's built into your iPhone. I'm sure it's on Android as well. The other one that I use is my work one. So my work focus mode actually changes my app screen only to the apps that I use for work. And then I also prioritize the notifications that I want for work, like Outlook and Teams. But then once I leave work, I no longer will get these notifications, and it's just tied to the focus mode. I also have another one for good. It's called Good Morning, basically. I will have this switch to this focus mode right when I wake up after I cancel my alarm in the morning. And these are just the apps I want to see in the morning, which isn't very many because I don't want to open apps that I don't need to first thing waking up in the morning. And then the final one is sleep. And I have a specific focus mode for sleep. This is the built-in one on an Apple device because it also darkens the screen, sets my Apple Watch to sleep mode so the screen doesn't turn on. And I just have a few apps on this screen as well that I have shown there on the screen. All right, so the very last thing I will share with you in just a second here, but be sure to like this video because I'd really appreciate some likes on these YouTube videos. I'm only asking for one thing on each YouTube video for engagement. So I want to see if we made it this far in the video with people watching it. But if you could please give it a thumbs up. You don't have to subscribe, not yet, but you can if you want to, but like it, specifically like it. Anyway, the last thing that I do is I actually set my phone to black and white. Now, apparently this actually decreases your usage of your phone by up to 30%. So you might actually start seeing the world in black and white if you do this. Okay, not really, but what I do actually is most of the time when I feel like I've been on my phone for too much, I'll actually take it and I'll put it in black and white mode. So literally everything is in black and white, and you can actually set a shortcut key. So if you can set a shortcut key, so if you hit your power button 3 times, it will switch it back to color. And then you hit it 3 more times, it'll switch it back to black and white. So it's really convenient. If most of the time you want to be in black and white, but maybe you want to show somebody a photo that you took, switch it back to color and show them the photo. Perfect. So these are the things that I do to avoid getting distracted on my phone. This isn't the only things you can do. These are just things that I have done and what I wanted to focus on in this video. You can change your lock screen layout so that you're not getting as many or like have as many apps on your screen. You can turn off notification badges, whatever. The goal here is remember to live life and actually spend time with the real world and not get distracted by your phone because you don't want to be on your phone all the time. It's a tool, not a device to pass the time. Hope this video was helpful for how I avoid letting my phone distract me. I hope it helps you do the same thing. And if you disagree with anything I put in the video or just want to comment and tell me your thoughts on what I said, feel free to put that in the comments. Be sure to like the video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.